3. All right, guys, what's up? This is Tarheelwill's Sports, Cards, and Collectibles inaugural. Is it inaugural or is it first podcast? I just want to introduce myself. I am Tarheelwill, or you can call me Will or William. Some of y'all may have seen me with the Tarheelwill blog. So this is something new that is going on. I created a business, sports card business, and 2/3 of us are here today for this first podcast. The teams I like to pull for are the Tar Heels, the Panthers, the Charlotte Hornets. I do pull for the Red Sox in baseball, but I'm not that big of a baseball fan. But I'd like to introduce Matt, so he's going to hop in and tell you what teams he likes.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Matt, the better half of my partner, William. Basically, my sports teams are Duke first and foremost. I love the Panthers and the Hornets as well. A little bit about myself. I'm pretty much I stay at home and work on the business with the real estate company, and then we're just started this business with William here, and we got another partner as well, and we're going to kick it in right now. Let's do it.
All right, so we both went to the Panthers training camp this past week, maybe not this week in general, but last week. I think, what day was it? Like Thursday of last week? Or was it Wednesday?
We went on Wednesday.
Okay, it was Wednesday of last week. It was not that bad heat-wise, but it was a good day. But as a long-life Panther fan that's gone to plenty of training camps and been there, done that, this one was different because first I didn't realize it was at the same place because it's done grown up since the last time I've been there. It's been like probably 4 or 5 years since I've been there. But since I've been there, I felt like the atmosphere of the fans that were actually at the training camp were there more really to actually watch the training camp, interact with the players. They were actually excited about football because in the past few years we were excited, but we had up and downs because of the way the team's been going. But I think with Bryce Young being there and some of the new guys coming in, I feel like the atmosphere has grown because like there is potential there. But that's just my opinion. I feel like the fans are in it, the players are in it, and I feel like if we can keep that mojo going, I think we'll do well. So what was your thoughts on training camp when we went?
I thought it was pretty good, to be honest with you. I feel like there's a fire lit up under the Panther fans for sure. I'm excited to see Bryce Young. He looked really good. Saw him throw some passes. They looked accurate. I know he's got to be a little nervous right now, but he seems to be good, and he seems like he's got control of the team too. They listen to him, is what I saw. So I think it's going to be a good year for the Panthers, and hope for the best.
Yeah, I agree with you on as far as I feel like he has won the team over. I think he's won them over pretty well, and that was something that I remember that when he first got drafted, that's what Nick Saban was talked about and raved about, is that Bryce Young's going to actually be able to like be the leader of these grown men that have been in playing NFL for a few years now. And
right.
Now you got just what? How old is he? Like 20?
21.
21-year-old kid coming straight out of college that came from a program that he's not used to losing. And coming in and winning over like that, I think that's a pretty good thing to happen very quick. Now, the thing that I noticed, and I don't know if you noticed, but he was small. And I know we've heard him, people talked about him being small, but like I see some of these high school kids that I've coached that are going in 9th grade, they're like bigger than this guy.
Yeah, I mean, but they say small things come in big packages. So, we're going to see.
I was small growing up, so like, I know I dominated the area. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I remember seeing his size, and I remember I took that one picture, and I was like, man, he looks small. Like he literally looks like a high school kid walking around with this big old jersey on.
Well, another thing that I like to see with Bryce is he's not scared to necessarily throw the ball away. And when you
Yeah,
have a rookie coming in and to be able to make those decisions, I mean, during practice when we were watching him, he threw the ball away several times just because switch and have another possession rather
and
than
that's
make a bad
what
throw and
I'm
get it
saying.
intercepted or something like that. So he's got a good brain on him. I think he's going to do real well. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the Panthers. So I think we're going to kick the season off really good.
Because that's one thing that our quarterbacks in the past did not do is throw the ball away.
Nope.
Even if you just wasting it down, but some of them would, like Cam a lot, would risk that throw and he would throw an interception. So
Yep.
I think that, and if you look at the top quarterbacks in today's game,
or he would Cam would run and fumble.
yeah,
Happened all the time, So
even Baker Mayfield, he tried to force something. And if you look at the top quarterbacks out there in the league right now, they throw the ball away a lot.
Yep, they sure
Like,
do.
Mahomes throws the ball away a lot. And yeah, he makes some of these crazy throws, but
Brady did too. Some of the best quarterbacks in the world weren't scared to throw the ball away.
and I think that's when you have a good quarterback and a good quarterback mind is if when you just know, like, okay, I got to throw the ball away because I'm not trying to get a 2-yard gain or an interception here. So yeah. So I want to go into some bold predictions on the year. I'm going to go ahead and say that, with me being a Panthers fan, I'm going to say Bryce Young is going to win the Rookie of the Year. I'm going to say the Panthers. I think the Panthers will make the playoffs and possibly make it to about the second round. But a bold prediction will be Panthers win the division and make it to the championship game and lose before going to the Super Bowl.
Who do you think they're going to be playing against? If you had that prediction, the Panthers going to the Super Bowl, who's their opponent?
That they lose to go to the Super Bowl? I mean,
they win. Who they play in the Super Bowl.
Oh, I say they're going to lose the Super before they make it to the Super Bowl.
Oh, you think they're going to lose? I think opposite. I think they'll make the Super Bowl.
I think they're going to make it to they can't. A bold prediction would be them making it to the NFC Championship and losing to, honestly, to the 49ers possibly. I mean, if Brock Purdy is halfway as good as what he has came, they got the weapons. So, I would say the 49ers definitely could be a team that is one that could knock us out. And if we make it that far, I mean, I definitely think we're going to have a better record than we did last year. But that would be my bold prediction. Bryce Young wins Rookie of the Year. MVP on the MVP of the season will be. I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm not going to sleep on the Jets.
I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers because, I just feel like he's got a chip on his shoulder and he's wanting to come in and improve, and he wants to do similar to what Brady did: leave a team and go win a Super Bowl with another team the first year. And Jets have the weapons to do it. Right. So, I'd say Aaron Rodgers wins MVP. Rookie of the Year is Bryce Young, and the Panthers lose in the NFC Championship game. But I say winner of the Super Bowl, I'm gonna go Jets.
You think the Jets? I think they got a really good chance. So
that's
Aaron
my
Rodgers might have a fire lit up under him,
yeah.
And he's a damn good quarterback, man. Like, people sleep on Aaron; they don't like him, but that he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. So who are your bold predictions?
I'm gonna go with you. I honestly think that the Panthers. I liked what I saw. My bold prediction is they make it to the Super Bowl. Bryce Young gets Rookie of the Year, maybe even win the whole Super Bowl. I don't know if they're going to be. I don't know. That's my bold prediction. I say the Panthers make it to the Super Bowl. Bryce gets Rookie of the Year. I think that's the only way he will get it.
No, if they win the Super Bowl, do you think he gets Rookie of the Year and MVP?
Absolutely, 100%.
You would have to, right?
You'd have to.
And I think there's only been one other quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, that actually has came in their first year and won the Super Bowl was Ben Roethlisberger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not sure if there's any after that, but I know he won in his first year, and there's not many who won a Super Bowl in their first year. So, I mean,
well,
and he did.
I know the 49ers are going to be really good. Sam Darnold's going to be something to compete with, I believe.
For who?
The 49ers, Sam
Well,
Darnold.
you got Brock Purdy out there, dude.
Yeah, well,
I mean, he's a starting quarterback right now, and unless something happens. So
you got Brock. Yeah, you got Brock, and then you got Trey Lance, but Sam Darnold's going to be that guy, though.
So you think with 49ers that Sam Darnold's going to be the guy coming into?
That's a sleeper. Yeah, I think Sam Darnold's going to come in and surprise some people. Bold prediction on my side.
On the 49ers.
On the 49ers, yeah. Watch.
Well, I mean, besides the quarterback position right now with them, which I think is Brock Purdy all the way, but I mean every other piece they have. I mean, they got Christian McCaffrey back there, dude. He's bound to he's about to have an MVP season.
Oh yeah, I think
because last season he played well when he was with the 49ers, and he played good, and I don't think he got too banged up leaving the season either.
I think he led rushing yards last year, did he not? Or he was close to it.
But I think coming into the season, if he's fresh legs, he's not banged up, he had all summer to chill. I mean, he has been making some modeling commercials. I don't know if you've seen those or not. He's got this brand of clothing that he is out there pushing. But, I mean, if he comes in strong, then, I think he can have an MVP season.
Yep.
But that's just whatever. So
we'll see.
All right. So now I want to talk a little bit about the Fanatics and Panini situation because I think I could be wrong, but I want to say earlier in the week Panini filed a lawsuit against Fanatics, trying to say they're trying to monopoly all this stuff. No.
They're saying Fanatics. Panini suing Fanatics, saying that Fanatics is trying to make the card game more of a, monopolized, basically. Well, they want to control the whole industry, and Panini is not. It's not.
But one started it off, and I want to say maybe Panini was trying to sue Fanatics, and then 2 days later, Fanatics is coming back with a counter sue or whatever. But with all the details, what it is I think Fanatics came in. They're bullying the bully, and you got two bullies fighting each other right now because Panini kind of did the same thing years ago, and they pushed a lot of people out. But now Fanatics is coming in trying to do the same thing, and Panini, I mean, really, Panini's got to push back. If they don't, then they just laid their cards down that they can get walked on. You know what I mean? So. They had when Fanatics when Fanatics threw the lawsuit at them, Panini had to come back, or basically they need to sit down and be quiet. But I agree, it's all a monopoly, and Fanatics is trying to get in and get everything, and then once they get everything, they control the market completely. And they have Fanatics Live that is starting now. So that's about
Let me ask you a question. If let's say Fanatics wins the suit. Do you think that the Panini cards, do they go up in value, or do you think they will decrease in value?
I think it'll be the same possibly because Fanatics is going to keep Panini's name. They won't change anything. It's just they'll have
to buy Panini's name more than likely, which I'm sure they wouldn't have a problem doing that.
And that's what they're going to do anyway. They're going to just buy them out, and that's what's going to happen. And then I don't think Well, it depends, because right now there are a lot of people against Panini because of customer service, not getting redemptions, taking forever to fulfill the redemptions, just a lot of things.
Yep. Field
Customer
orders. Yep.
service issues in general and quality control issues. Like there's cards that you get that are already damaged and messed up that are high value cards to us, but not like to them. It's just a card to them. So like we get for instance, that Drew Jones autograph Bowman Chrome I got, like from the manufacturers, a couple little scratches from, I guess, it being printed and all that. Well, that came straight to me like that. So that there have been a lot of issues about quality control, Panini not checking things and just giving out crap, and then redemptions not being filled, and then redemptions taking so long, and then they send you some sparkle packs, which are like $15 worth of cards that the card you've been waiting on is you could sell for $2,000, but they just sent you like $60 worth of sparkle packs that you could probably get about $10 worth of cards out of. Right. So like you just kind of get screwed. So I think if Fanatics bought them out, to answer the question, if Fanatics bought them out and did all their stuff and fixed quality control, made redemptions get redeemed in a reasonable amount of time, and you get the value of your stuff, then yes, I think those cards definitely go up in value. But if Fanatics buys them out and it stays the same, it's probably going to decrease in value.
So, but Fanatics right now doesn't make cards, correct?
Yes, no, they don't. They're just, if you remember,
you think that if they get this and they win the lawsuit, or they buy out Panini, wouldn't they push their name above Panini?
Well, they're going to keep Panini's name because they know there are Panini lovers, and Panini's is a big part of the community. They would rather keep the Panini name and logos and all that because just think of the eye appeal. People are going to buy it because they're used to it. If you all of a sudden put Fanatics on there, people are going to question it now. So I think it would be, they'll just keep it the same because.
You think they'll keep Paninis and just have Fanatics Panini?
They'll have their name on there somewhere. Probably they'll have their logo or something somewhere on there. But yeah, they're going to keep it definitely Panini because it's just a household name, and everybody's going to want to see if the quality control and the customer service goes up. So, and that's what it all boils down to, is Fanatics saying they want to come in and fix that issue and other things, and Panini is just trying to fight back. They're just swinging back. So, because I think in the end, I think Fanatics is going to end up with it all, and it's just that's how it's going to go from here on out. So,
well, it's going to be exciting to see what happens. I'm keeping in the loop of all of that. I want to know what's going on with it.
Yeah,
especially since the new business that we have created and all that, it's gonna, it'll impact that in a good or a negative way. So I'd love to see what happens.
And speaking with that, I have already filled out a request to get in the Panini Live and all that, but I haven't really heard anything about it yet. And I know that they had their first. I know they've done some breaks, and I know at the National Sports Card Convention last couple weeks ago, I think they were doing breaks at the show. So they're just now getting out there, but once everything is settled, I think they'll have more control over everything. But so, you got anything to ask?
Yeah. So let's bring this up real quick. Wemby, you think Wemby is going to be a bust, or do you think he will rise and shine? What's your prediction on Wemby?
I'm going to answer it two ways. One, I think if I'm just looking at it like it is, what's happening, I feel like he won't live up to his hype, because in the past, in my opinion, anybody who was really tall and skinny as a big man that come into the league never really panned out, or they were injury prone or something like that. And I just don't think he has the weight on him. But he's like a point guard on the outside. So I think teams are going to have trouble guarding him because like you can't put your big man on because he's going to shake him out of his shoes, and you can't put a smaller guy on because he's just going to shoot over top of him. So that's where I think. But I think he could be stopped, and I think he would be a bust just looking at it like that in the end. But the reason why I want to lean more on the side of, I'm not saying he's going to become a superstar after a year. It could be a couple of years, but the coaching staff and the coach that he's being coached under, Pop, like Pop has developed some of David Robinson and Tim Duncan, some of the greatest.
Has created, legends. So yeah,
and at that position, and he loves foreign players. He loves that style of game, and Pop just knows how to coach that. So I would say he's going to be.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead.
I'm going to say he's not going to be a full bust like some. Like we've seen some just come in and just completely be a bust, like Christian Laettner.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's going to be better than that, and possibly in 6 years be a dominant force because Pop's going to be able to develop them. And if you remember, Pop just signed a 5-year extension. So that's why I said 6 years. So that's my opinion.
I'm going to add my little 2 cents on it. I don't know what to think. I've seen a couple of big guys that have ball handling skills. Bol was one. Big, tall guy, ball handling skills. I just don't think he was coached by the right person. I'm not going to say if he was with Popovich, he would have been any better. I don't know if Popovich has ever had a player like Wemby to where, it's a really tall 7'1", 7'2", 7'3" guy who can handle the ball and shoot. Will Popovich know what to do with something like that? Because he's all strictly about underneath.
Yeah.
He's not about the big man going to the 3-point line and draining threes or even being able to dribble like a point guard. I don't know if I'm curious to see how Popovich handles it. So
because that's a different style than David Robinson and Tim Duncan.
Completely different from what he's used to. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. I'm excited for that as well. But I think Paolo Banchero is going to take and dunk all over. So he's going to welcome him to the NBA.
We'll know probably
rude style.
I'll say we'll know. I think we'll know if he's in trouble or not within 10 games.
I agree.
Like, because if he gets out there and of course he's going to get 4 blocks a game on with his eyes closed because he's so tall. So I'm not focused on his blocks per se, even though that's part of the game and it stops stuff. But like the scoring, because I think when people saw him coming into the league, they didn't look at him as for defense. That was for an offensive player.
Correct.
So like, yeah, he's going to get his on defense and get some rebounds, but he's also going to have some big boys out there that maybe they're going to be smaller than him that been in the weight room their entire life.
Well, there's already team players on the NBA that, they're smaller than him, but they weigh just as much as he does. And they have a lower center of gravity. And me being a tall guy, I'm not that tall. I'm 6'6", but going up against someone who's maybe the same weight as me but smaller, it's a difficult task. It's not easy.
Yeah, so you're gonna have those shorter guys that are just bigger, that are stronger than him. That honestly, if you keep him out on the perimeter, then really
you have to force him to shoot over you. Yeah.
I would say almost you would want him to play on the perimeter, so that way it takes him out of even getting the rebound.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think it's definitely, like you said, it's going to be interesting to see. I still think Scoot is probably going to be the best of the top 3 this past draft. But
who do you think takes the MVP this year
for NBA? I don't know. It was who was it? Joel Embiid this past year, right?
It was Embiid this past year.
I mean, honestly, I can see the Joker coming back, taking it back, or possibly Luka.
Doncic.
Yeah, or
I see, just because I'm a big Duke fan, I'm going to say Kyrie is going to make a big play for something this year with Luka. Luka and Kyrie are going to team up and do something huge.
he's kind of got to.
I mean, they have to. I agree. They kind of have to. So
Like
I'm
Kyrie,
going to put Kyrie in contentions to get an MVP with Luka. But if Banchero can play anything better than what he did last, I think he's got a good chance to possibly get a MVP as well. So,
well, I think the only way Kyrie gets MVP is if him and Luka run the show, but he's got to be outscoring Luka every night.
And I think he can,
because if he's not outscoring Luka, when it comes down to
then
it,
Luka gets it.
Luka's
I think
getting
it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle.
I think Luka gets it no matter what, just because Kyrie's always in
trouble. Yeah,
trouble. Not really trouble per se, but he's always in the headlines, and it seems
he's
like
always doing something scandalous. Yeah,
it seems like no matter what he does, it always gets looked at. I mean, but no one really talk. I mean, I'm a UNC fan, so like me saying this, but no one really ever talks about all the money and the stuff he gives to people and helps with charity and things on the side. It's always about.
We're talking about basketball, not
Yeah.
That's fair. I can give people that. They're not going to look at what he does for charity. They're more interested in what he's going to do on the basketball court and how he presents himself on the basketball court. And in the past few years, I mean, I hate to say it, but it hadn't been too well.
Yeah, and
he's been getting bad press, and I think he's been getting bad press for all the wrong reasons. I'm going to add that too. I think he has a good head on his shoulders. I think he's a really good guy, and people just misunderstand him.
I would almost say another Dookie that could get MVP this coming year if they get past that threshold would be Jason Tatum.
Tatum? Oh, well, I love Tatum.
I think Tatum can get it, but I'm going to tell you right now, I think if LeBron takes the Lakers back to the finals this year, I think LeBron can take home an MVP. But we're also in the tides are changing too.
Yeah, I think LeBron is done personally. I mean, he's still going to be the best player in the league. I'm not going to say that. I just don't think he doesn't have that. He wants to have control, but he doesn't. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think Bron is done. I don't think he's got anything else going for him.
Well, we'll definitely see. So,
all right, let's move it on. Let's real quick. We're gonna make this one short and simple. Women's soccer, the U.S. Open women's soccer. Are they on the rise or the fall? Because that's the first time they've gone out so soon, and they're not even in it anymore. So,
all right. So I'm gonna start off with don't know much about soccer in general. I know that women's soccer dominated. Whatever. I think I wouldn't say they on the fall. I think they are plateauing out, and a lot of other countries are catching up with them and outdoing them because women's sports in general are starting to catch more steam. College basketball for sure this past season was a big steam. So I think a lot of women are going out there becoming athletes, not just in a particular sport, but just becoming athletes and trying different sports. And they may start out as a soccer player, but they end up being a basketball player or vice versa.
I can dig that.
You got different athletes that are coming from different sports playing soccer now and using those skills they learned on the basketball court on the soccer field because they wasn't really good in basketball, but they're dominating soccer. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to have more countries starting to catch up with it and becoming athletes. And you got people, because if you see, like, I mean, what I talked to you about, like, it's all the whole motto of people these days is about the grind and about the process. And you got all these people that are living that now and putting that effort into it. And you got all these young athletes at young ages putting in the grind, putting in the work for multiple years, and then eventually they finally all come together somewhere and form. So I think that I think they're plateaued out for right now because everybody's catching up. But then I think they'll step it up and get back on the national stage in that. But it is.
I agree with you on that.
I can't tell you too much.
I'm with you on that 100%. I'm not a big soccer fan, don't know a lot about soccer, but it's just kind of surprising that they went out so soon since we have all those all-stars on the team. So it's it was different watching it this year. I will say
that same thing happened to the USA basketball team with the dream team and stuff too. They fell apart, and then look what happened. They put it back together and they dominated. So sometimes you gotta fall to get right back on top.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So last question. I'm gonna ask Matt, but I'm gonna start off with this. Like, the card game, my whole life I've been in it. I know Matt's been involved in it. I collected when I was younger, and back then we didn't have all these parallels, different colors, numbered cards, autograph cards, all that. So it was just more about the collecting. And then about 10 years ago, I stopped collecting for a while, went to college and all that nonsense. And then 10 to 12 years ago, I started getting back into it. And then I quickly realized, like, crap, this whole card game has changed. Like, my stuff that I thought was going to be my retirement ain't even going to pay my rent this month if I wanted to use it. And so I started realizing, then I got out and I always went back and forth because I just felt like I couldn't keep up with it. And then, then I got back in it for sure. And then, so I realized how the card game has changed, but I want to, with you just now recently kind of getting back into it, seeing breaks and watching breaks and getting cards yourself. And you're quickly realizing that things that you think is worth something ain't worth anything. And
right. Well, the card game in itself has changed a lot. I mean, first, when I was collecting cards back when I was younger, we didn't have the platform that we have today with, being able to go online and watching these breaks live and things like that. That wasn't a thing back then. So you had to take the luck of the draw and just buy you a box yourself, or just go to, Walmart or something and buy a sleeve, and that's how you got your cards. And like you said earlier, there was no different colors. It was all about numbers and sets back then. It wasn't about these colors and disco reds and silvers and, tie-dyes. All that stuff didn't exist. So it's a different ball game now.
The one thing I did know that I have been noticing too is things like that did kind of exist. We just didn't know they existed. Like in these boxes because I know my grandfather used to buy me boxes, but he never bought me like hobby boxes. He bought me like the whole set. Like he would go buy a 1989 Fleer set, and I'd have all those cards. And of course, nothing was in there crazy because it was just the general set. So like there are inserts and stuff, and I just am noticing this because like that guy I told you I break with on Whatnot, he has a lot of inserts and stuff that he has. I'm like, man, where did these cards come from? Well, they were in the hobby boxes and stuff that I didn't even know there was a such thing as a hobby box back when I was 8 years old, 10 years old. Because like you said, we didn't have the media. We didn't have
have all that. Yeah.
These platforms where you could go see what was in what. We didn't have the internet. Like you literally had to go buy that box and read the back of the box to know what was in it. So yeah, a lot of these parallels and these like inserts of Jordans in particular, like I'm like, holy crap, where'd this come from? And they were in those boxes. We just didn't know it because we wasn't, I guess, in the game like that. I thought I was in the game, but I really wasn't.
You really wasn't, right? Yeah.
So
it's a different ball game for sure. It's you know, all the different terminologies that they use nowadays for the different cards. It's a learning curve for me, at least.
And I mean, and, you know, I'm right there with you because like I'll go somewhere, get online, and I'll be like, man, you know, now I'm starting to pick up more stuff now because I have been buying off eBay and doing stuff like that. But I'm like, man, this card definitely got to sell. And then I'll buy that same card that I just saw it sell for 15. I buy it for 3, and then I can't even sell it for $4. So like,
Yeah.
it's
And there's no telling what you would get, what you're going to get for this card. I mean, like for instance, I've got a Paul George that's an ice break. It's a rare card. But you know, right now they say it's worth $10. Get it graded, it's worth 60 or 70. But you never know who will actually pay that. You might not get but $6 or $7 for it. You know, you never know.
Because I bought these Ellie De La Cruz. He's a new hype baseball player. I bought a couple of these Bowman cards of his that I got for probably $5 or less each. But a grade 10 for that card, you can sell about 50 or $60. So I bought 2 or 3 of them, and I'm going to send them in to get graded, hoping to, you know, flip it for that little bit amount of money. But it's just crazy how, like, you don't know what card is going to be that card. Like, you may get this card that a rookie card of this player, and you may have 100 of them that you stick in a box because you don't even know that person. And then 8 years from now, everybody's looking for that player's rookie card. So,
right.
I don't know. It's definitely changed. It's definitely about the rookies. It ain't even about the vet.
You honestly have more people signing now than ever before. You know, you didn't really have just about everyone on the team sign. You can find an autograph. You go to a team. You can go to the bench, someone who never, and find his autograph on a card.
Yeah, you can go
now,
online.
it wouldn't be worth anything, but they still have everyone signing. And I didn't see that previous. I didn't see that years ago. They normally went after the top dogs, or at least someone who starts.
And now it's just you want to get like with me getting into it and then doing these breaks, and now I see the change from now the rookies last year, and I'm just gonna talk about NFL. The rookies last year don't mean crap no more to anybody because now the new rookies are out. That's the one everybody's going for. Like, yeah, you can still sell if you get into a break or you buy some cards yourself and you pull a Brock Purdy numbered out of 50. Yeah, it's still going to be worth some money, but no one really cares about getting the 49ers anymore. They're trying to get the Lions, the Colts, the Panthers, like all the rookies. So now is the time is to start stacking up your rookies. So that way, when football season starts, whatever rookie starts blowing up and you have a stack of them, then you sell.
That's right.
So that's right now you're spending your money in breaks and boxes not to really get those players and flip them immediately. You're getting them to hold for a little bit, and then once the season starts, 4 games into the season, you'll start seeing who's who.
That's right.
So it's really about, and I just now saw that change for myself. So like, I'm like, okay, I understand now. But like on those draft picks select that we opened those boxes the other day, like those cards, I think I sold a couple of them, but I'm not there. And when I looked them up, like there were a couple of those autographs were like $7, $8.
Yeah.
And it's an autograph card. Like I think I sold one for like, I think $7, and that was like a max that someone paid. So yeah, so like it's crazy to think that, because I used to chase autographs. I used to go stand out to stadiums and stuff, and I'm like, that I did that, and then I realized that like it ain't really worth anything unless it's on a card that is already produced. Then it's worth something.
Right. So, yeah. And then you're also taking a gamble when you do that, because you don't ever know if that guy will turn out to be what he's expected to be. So you might spend $7 on this signature, and then this guy's a major bust. Or you might spend $7 on the signature, and this guy ends up being some kind of MVP of the league. So it's a gamble.
Yeah, like people who are chasing or people who got those Luka autographed rookie cards when he was a rookie.
Yep.
And then held on to them. Now those things are worth a couple grand.
Yep.
So
luck of the draw. So luck of the draw.
All right. Well, guys, that's going to be our show for today. Keep an eye out. We're going to probably have another podcast, or maybe this one's going to turn into it. We're going to call it Bearded Brothers because both me and Matt are big into college basketball. He's a Duke or Bearded Rivals.
Rivals, yeah.
Bearded Rivals, and he's a big Duke fan. I'm a big Tar Heel fan, and we'll have a lot of good banter going back and forth on that. So we may stick it to what we're doing now. We may change it. So just stick with us. There's a lot of new things going on. A lot of things are moving. A lot of moving parts with the business right now, with it being fairly new. But please like and subscribe to this video if you haven't, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.